This is the Earth at a time when the dinosaurs roamed.
We'd actually like to show you the dinosaurs rather than talk about them, but we decided to hire Charlton Heston to do narration instead. We spared no expense.
For 1,000 years.
Movie unintentionally inspires Michael Bay's Transformers. It's a Michael Bay movie, so yes, even the title has to explode. Damn, that was one hell of a flashback. We missed all of Earth's awkward Paleogene years. There goes HBO. Michael Bay saw Apollo 13, slammed his fist on the table, and said, "We must get the exact same actor to play a ground control guy in this movie."
Your Stouffer's pot pie's been on the table almost 10 hours.
Okay, first of all, terrible pot pie product placement is terrible pot pie. Second of all, you waited 10 fucking hours before giving him shit about this? Okay, so this here is the Brooklyn Bridge, and these are the Twin Towers behind it, which means this sun is definitely setting and not rising, even though every other shot in this scene suggests it's early morning. It took 5 credited writers, including Tony Gilroy and J.J. Abrams, to bring a plot to the big screen that can be summed up in 3 words or less. Haha, remember in 1998 when people thought Godzilla was going to be huge competition? Man, was Godzilla wrong. Also, this represents Michael Bay's feelings about Roland Emmerich. It must be hard hating your twin.
If I wasn't a Christian, I'd be throwing your fat, pineapple-eating ass through the window.
That's racist. Asteroids, also racist. I can see why I spent so much time destroying them on my Atari 2600. Movie makes you think it's killed one black comic and quickly introduces another one to restore the balance. Unlikely.
Saddam Hussein is bombing us!
What dates the movie more? The Saddam Hussein reference or casting the star of Hangin' with Mr. Cooper? 82% of the asteroid's targets are iconic landmarks. Irony. Michael Bay humanizes this exploding building with this great shot of humans dying. Director inserts himself into the movie like an unwanted penis inserting itself into your least favorite orifice. ZZ Top means we're about to be introduced to a bunch of ragtag individuals who are a little rough around the edges, but damn it, are they good at their jobs. Everyone waiting while one guy runs and finally bursts into the room with some kind of information cliche. Guy who doesn't want his daughter sleeping around keeps her on a remote oil rig full of horny men. We interrupt this hilarious father-daughter-boyfriend relationship movie to bring you Armageddon.
This is illegal, man.
That's correct. The movie wants to suggest Harry is just f***ing with AJ and is missing him on purpose, but how the f*** do you miss on purpose from 20 yards away with a spray from a f***ing shotgun?
Back in 1974.
Movie thinks it can cast vegetable lasagna from Seinfeld without me noticing. And you know what? Movie is wrong. Michael Bay watched Apollo 13 again and slammed his fist on the table and said we need to get that same actor to play some science guy in this movie.
We got 18 days. That's 431 hours, 15 minutes, and 18 seconds.
I sure am glad he converted that into hours. That makes it sound like so much less time.
First time I got my period.
Leave it to Michael Bay to stage this conversation on a loud oil rig, so Grace has to shout these lines and make the movie even louder. And more embarrassing to Harry.
I grew up.
We interrupt Liv Tyler's burgeoning adulthood to bring you Armageddon.
We bring in the world's best deep core driller.
Because it's easier for drillers to learn how to astronaut than it would be for astronauts to learn how to drill.
Somebody could get killed out here today.
Kinda like when you blast a shotgun on an oil rig.
You're fired.
Guy gets fired just before an important job where they'll need him, and he will get a second chance to win back the trust of his boss and bang the boss's daughter with his blessing cliche.
And I swear to God, she never told me her age.
More pedophile humor from Michael Bay, the man who knows what America wants. In case you confused it for Houston, Maine.
Now, if it's a Pacific Ocean impact, which we think it will be, it'll create a tidal wave 3 miles high.
So you're saying it'll make a deep impact?
Basically the worst parts of the Bible.
So we'd also be experiencing that section where all those dudes begat other dudes who begat other dudes?
My design.
NASA was thankfully already using this guy's design for their Mars drill.
You know, drilling's a science. It's an art.
Is it a science or an art?
If I do this, I'm going to want to take my own men.
Sure, you just criticize them for trying to use guys with only 8 months of drilling experience. You can get your drillers physically ready to go into space in 2 weeks. Drilling's hard. Astronauting's for pussies.
You might want to start with every bar in New Orleans.
Don't worry, he's probably in that same bar where Gambit was so easy to find in X-Men Origins Wolverine. I mean, the guy's always in bars. He doesn't have a home address or anything. So be sure to check all of them first. You were trying to stop a motorcycle, and this is the blockade formation you decide to go with? Cops pick up all the oil rig dudes except for AJ. For that guy, we gotta send Harry himself out to pick him up. Because it's not like time is of the essence or anything.
Make my own hours. Nobody shoots me in the leg.
AJ and all the other drillers were on the rig when the military picked up Harry. An 18-hour flight, and then you figure a few hours for NASA to explain everything, and in that amount of time, AJ has found and purchased his own oil rig to be the president of? These boys scatter all over the country when they get back to land from the offshore oil rig, but when the feds go and round them up, they are all delivered at precisely the exact time. That's incredible.
You ever see Pulp Fiction?
Haha, Bruce Willis and Steve Buscemi were in that movie. Rogue drillers all get medical examinations in the same room at the same time because it's easier for them to show off in front of their friends that way. And nearly naked Michael Clark Duncan is comedy, man. Why do the psychoanalysis rooms need to be soundproofed? Psychology montage is montage.
Woman with large breasts. Woman with medium breasts.
This guy thinks about hot women even more than I do.
Can they physically survive the trip?
Why are you asking the psychologist this question? Why did you even do psychological testing at all if physical was your only parameter?
Talk about the wrong stuff.
Haha, reference to a vastly superior movie that no one watches anymore because it's 16 hours long.
What's next, 71?
You're the first civilians to ever see her.
NASA just happens to also be developing top-secret advanced space shuttles they didn't know they would need. Man, there are so many Aerosmith songs on this soundtrack, I don't think they missed a thing. Time to check back in on that relationship. Michael Bay makes his movies big, dumb, and loud, which is fine, but then he goes and does this shit, which blows his movies to 70 hours apiece. No joke, 70 hours. That's how long these movies are.
Now it's time for underwater simulation.
Underwater simulation is announced while everyone is still way the f*** out in the desert. Screens! Dizziness!
It's a potentially huge security risk.
Sure that people don't know a big asteroid is about to hit the Earth, but wouldn't there be widespread panic after Manhattan got destroyed? Does anyone remember that?
These boys are ready to snap. And they asked to be here, they got pulled off the street.
They also had the choice to say no to the job, but yeah, let's keep pretending like they're here against their own free will.
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you.
Couldn't NASA just go with the original plan with the astronaut drillers if they got too nervous about Harry's crew? Harry doesn't hold all the cards, does he?
Don't wanna close.
This f***ing song.
Putting cheese on something is sort of the defining characteristic of what makes a cracker a cracker.
Also, easily accessible racism is a defining characteristic of a cracker.
Do you think it's possible that anyone else in the world is doing this very same thing at this very same moment?
What, the romantic getaway or the animal cracker bullshit?
Don't wanna close my eyes.
This is like being serenaded by your father while having sex. Movie decides to show us what happened to April O'Neil and Casey Jones after the end of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Dirty, dirty PG-13 strip clubs. This place is nothing but filth to my X-rated mind.
You're hogging all the action.
Bullshit angry strip club patrons show up to fight the heroes because it's not what the movie deserves, but it's what the movie needs right now.
It's coming in at 30,000 miles an hour!
Movie randomly inserts another asteroid into the picture when there's a lull in the action.
The death of 50,000 people in Shanghai yesterday has rattled...
Movie has completely glossed over the destruction of Manhattan earlier. Or have they completely gotten over getting destroyed by the meteor shower a week ago?
NASA's in emergency launch preparation in cooperation with Russian and Japanese.
Why is Billy Bob Thornton's Mission Control Boss character also acting as NASA's media spokesperson?
I shouldn't have dragged you around on all those oil rigs.
That's correct.
Promise me that you'll come back.
Unpromisable promises.
All my bags are packed.
Also, more f***ing relationship statuses. Movie inadvertently inspires the entire visual aesthetic for Man of Steel.
The Bible calls this day Armageddon.
That is a hell of a lead-in for telling all the world for the first time about the impending crisis. I mean, shit. You just started talking. Remember how no one knows anything about the asteroid and all they know is there's a secret shuttle mission taking off? Maybe ease into that shit, dog.
Armageddon.
Roll credits. Here's French people doing classic French things, gathering around and listening to the radio at their favorite cafe. Even Gaston the motorcycle guy showed up. Ireland! Asia! This place!
That man's not a salesman. That's your daddy.
Oh sure, when he's a loser, April O'Neil hates him. But now that he's a loser in a spacesuit, she loves him again. I gotta get me a spacesuit.
Freedom Crew. Independence Crew.
Neither the Freedom Crew nor the Independence Crew can go wherever they want.
Take care of yourself, kid.
So I guess the one-day vacation they took solved all the issues concerning the mission? They just went into the simulators and banged that shit out no problem after a day of romantic getaways, visiting divorced wives, strippers, and jail?
You know we're sitting on 4 million pounds of fuel, 1 nuclear weapon.
Expo Shimi. Thank God the weather was really good. Really, if you think about how often real NASA launches get scrubbed for even a hint of foul weather, and the fact that these assholes only have a window of days or hours or else they're dead, Mother Nature really did them a solid. Movie tries to trick you into thinking you're watching Fargo with its casting choices.
To the right is fuel gauge, you watch the fuel gauge.
Mission deems it necessary for AJ to do this important job he's never done before so that chaos can happen. Also, for what reason?
Ready for transfusion!
All Lev does is come up here and press a button that anyone could have pressed. In between the launch and the finale, we need some boosted up tension, so naturally there's a convenient leak on the space station that nearly kills everyone. Cool, long, sustained shot shows a Michael Bay we wish we could see more of, but never will. 2 shuttles survive this proximity to the explosion with superficial enough damage to just carry on and do the mission. Because space.
We're now in the final hours of the mission.
The destruction of Mir makes no news broadcasts.
I'd start praying about it right now.
What an asshole. Liv Tyler is bored. Asteroid debris isn't dangerous or a threat to the shuttles. It's only here to make cool moon impact noises.
Engaging invasive radar.
Oh, so now the debris is a concern. Coffee cup shattering on the floor in slow motion to signify a character's despair cliche.
We're gonna hit!
Movie will now seamlessly cut back and forth between the Freedom and Independent shuttles with shaky camera movement and zero context, so you'll have no idea what the hell is going on.
Captain America here blew the landing by 26 miles.
Was he seriously expecting the captain to land this plane perfectly after all that stuff they went through? The most realistic part of the movie is that one of these shuttles crashed trying to land on an asteroid, but then it's nearly destroyed by the fact that AJ and the others survived this. Remember back when you were stripping down the armadillos for only necessary shit? How did the machine guns make the cut? Was doing this trick here part of some NASA contingency plan? Also, this is the same shuttle that withstood the launch, Earth's atmosphere, 22G travel around the moon, tons of asteroid debris impacts, and crash-landed on said asteroid, right?
Are you alright?
Oh, blew the tranny. Blew the tranny.
No comment. What the f*** is this shit? You have to pan over the Tag Heuer logo for every f***ing clock shot? Did they kidnap your children?
The lunar gravity's put her in a spin. This wasn't expected.
This was unexpected, but the need for machine guns on the Armadillo, we totally called that shit. Let's see, they need to restore radio communications, someone wants to fire a nuke right now, a more level-headed person does not want to fire the nuke right now, there's launch codes on this red paper, this just turned into Crimson Tide.
This is one order you shouldn't follow and you f***ing know it.
Why wouldn't NASA be the primary scientific advisors to the president in a situation like this? How does he possibly have anyone on his end telling him NASA is wrong? How did that advisor get their job? Is it Pauly Shore? I realize you need a villain of sorts, and explosion-happy politicians are always an easy target, but this is beyond stupid.
What are you doing with a gun in space?
Duh, he's obviously going to blast open a door in the side of the shuttle to drive an armadillo out of, right?
Come on. We gotta stop that bomb right now.
Treason. Colonel Willie Sharp would be dead in real life.
Let's turn this bomb off.
Are you sure you don't have any brain injuries?
Red or blue?
Red. Blue.
Jesus, really? They did all the other necessary steps to disarm the bomb up until this point, and now they both forget which wire to cut?
Red or blue?
Clock constantly adds time when it ticks down, and do I cut the red wire or blue wire bomb detonation cliche?
Houston, you have a problem.
Now, here's a reference that you probably won't know. It just sounded like Harry tried to pick up the platinum bar in the loud room. Want an explanation? Google it. Not here to hold your hand through these things.
We just happened to run into the Grand Canyon.
Couldn't they have stuck the nuke in this thing? They had detailed maps about what the asteroid was made of and divided it into sections, so how did they miss this? Did they even need to drill? This armadillo is about to make a successful flight across a canyon, running into many huge rocks, have problems with the thrusters, and no one is going to die, and I'm okay with that. And I am not okay with that.
The thrust is not working.
Must be a dramatic moment in the script then. This NASA shit either works or completely fails depending on the needs of the story. Rockhound is about to demonstrate why you don't put these things on space vehicles.
He's got space dementia.
Also, I don't blame the movie for constantly putting obstacles in the way of our heroes, but space dementia? Come on. Don't you mean asteroid quake?
I think one's about to hit near Paris.
Smaller asteroids continue to target major cities because we wouldn't care if the asteroid they detected was headed for the Mojave Desert or Bowling Green, Kentucky.
That is my family up there, so I don't want to hear we hope so.
And this is why NASA wouldn't let someone's daughter just hang out in the main control room. Affleck ex machina. Either those are straws, which is ridiculous, or they're wires, which means he found enough unnecessary shit on this space shuttle he could dismantle and strip to come up with 6 different colors of wires, which is also ridiculous. Isn't time a concern? When did he find time to forage and create these straws?
It's my turn now.
Hero sacrifices himself to save the world cliche.
But there won't be anything to be scared of soon.
Because all the evil of the world will be gone when I blow up this asteroid.
Confirmed.
Just like a 1976 Buick in a horror movie, this space vehicle won't start. That worked. Movie turns into Pink Floyd The Wall for a few seconds. Man, I would have removed 50 Sins if she'd have just made out with Billy Bob Thornton right here. People about to go kill Frankenstein are excited about asteroid's demise. All the people celebrating the defeat of the asteroid are from the 1950s. Death of my father? So over it. This is touching and all, but it's absolute bullshit. Some random lady just showed up at NASA and said, "Gee, yeah, one of those driller astronauts you got up there? Yeah, he f***ed me several years ago, and this little boy is his son. Can we come in and get straight onto the runway when they land? Oh, look, they let Rockhound strip her girlfriend on the compound, too.
I could stay awake.
This f***ing song again. Fire Hazard Wedding. Asteroid movie ends with the worst wedding video ever. Also, who's shooting a wedding video with 8mm film? Mr. Boogie?
Okay, so the scariest environment imaginable. Thanks. That's all you gotta say. Scariest environment imaginable.
Space. The final frontier.
What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, and doghouse in that area.
Basically the worst parts of the Bible.
What he means is Old Testament, Mr. Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Cheetahs may be the fastest sprinters, but gazelles are better at dodging and jinking.
Max would like you to bring back 8-track tapes.
This is the brass ring. Now you gotta think bigger thoughts.
Well, I went in there in the house, and I hit Jesse Dixon upside the head with it, knocked him off my mother. I reckon that didn't quite satisfy me, so I hit him again with it in the neck with a sharp edge and just plumb near cut his head off.
In the 5th, your ass goes down. Say it.
In the 5th, my ass goes down.
God damn, we got debris.
Debris!
Listen, man, I'm starting to get a bad feeling up here. I want you to do something for me. I want you to find my wife. Don't ask me how, by then you'll know how. I want you to tell her something. I want you to tell her that... tell her that it took me a while to figure out what a jerk I've been.